From a flying tackle to Martin Odegaard playing basketball, these are the worst VAR decisions in football history. Starting with a blunder that cost Arsenal the Premier League title. In February of 2023, Arsenal came up against Brentford, hoping to maintain their lead at the top of the Premier League table. But as the match started, Brentford showed their intentions when Ivan Toney's effort hit the crossbar.
Ball, Bumo's in there, pulls it back, Toney hits the crossbar, should have scored.
However, Arsenal's quality eventually showed when a brilliant play by Saka set up Trossard for the game's opener.
Saka trying to go round his man, good delivery, must be! And it's Trossard who scores for Arsenal!
Then, in the 73rd minute, a brilliant set-piece routine by Brentford caused confusion in the Arsenal box, eventually leading to Ivan Toney scoring the equalizer.
By Odegaard, Pinnock's climbing in there. That was going to be a goal. Ivan Toney scored. Flag has stayed down and Brentford have levelled.
But before they could celebrate their goal, the referee signaled there was an ongoing VAR check for possible offside. This initial check showed that Ivan Toney wasn't offside, but when the ball was passed to Odegaard, the replay showed he was offside. The same player who flicked the ball for Toney to head home. However, the VAR official forgot to take his medication and declared that the goal was valid.
Toney scored. Flag has stayed down.
With Arsenal unable to score another goal, they had to settle for a draw that put a huge dent in their title race. After the game, this awful blunder by the VAR caused a ton of controversy, with many fans even calling it corruption.
I would never like to call anybody corrupt. You've got to question what is happening.
Take this, because you remembered it at the end of the season, and then we're going to go on and we're going to win the league. We are going to win the league.
With the heat piled on the officials, the Referees Association issued an apology, claiming that the VAR official that day forgot to draw the lines on Odegaard, thereby allowing a goal that should have been disallowed. But if you thought this was bad, wait till you see the decision that cost Liverpool the 2021-2022 Premier League title. In February 2022, Manchester City, amid a crazy winning streak, were being hunted down by a Liverpool team that just wouldn't give up. So when City visited the notoriously difficult Goodison Park, everyone expected Everton to test them. As the game progressed, Everton got a few good chances, but they were not converted by their striker, Richarlison. Then, a deflected cross fell kindly to the path of Phil Foden, who scored to give City a precious lead. But with the game almost ending, Rodri controlled the ball in his 18-yard box, which immediately drew protests from the Everton players. After watching the replay, everyone expected it to be an easy decision. However, because the referees didn't see it in real time, VAR was used to confirm the incident. They checked different angles and analyzed the result, which, to the shock of the whole stadium, read, "No penalty."
He's not given it. They have not given it.
Even a blind man could see that handball. But somehow, VAR deemed it wasn't, handing the precious 3 points to Man City. By the end of the season, Man City won the league over Liverpool by a single point, making the 2 points gifted to City by VAR even more painful. But don't leave yet, because it gets worse. In a match between Aston Villa and Sheffield United, the stakes couldn't have been higher, with Villa battling relegation and Sheffield hoping to qualify for Europe. With the Blades mounting pressure for the opener, Villa goalkeeper Orjan Nyland caught a free kick and accidentally fell backward with the ball crossing the line. The Sheffield United players raised their hands in celebration, but the referee waved no goal. However, the replay showed that the ball crossed the line. Since the referee didn't receive any signal on his watch or earpiece, Sheffield United was robbed of a clear goal. But the 8th of October 2023 saw one of the Premier League's most embarrassing referee and VAR blunders. Having narrowly missed out on the Premier League the previous season, Arsenal were hungry for revenge when they welcomed Man City for a match at the Emirates. As expected, the game was tense, with both teams playing cautiously to avoid being caught. The game's first clear chance fell to Nathan Ake, who blasted his effort above the crossbar. With the game seemingly headed for a boring draw, Mateo Kovacic slid from behind and took out the Arsenal captain, Martin Odegaard. The referee, Michael Oliver, decided the challenge was only worth a yellow card, but after seeing the Arsenal man in so much pain, VAR chose to intervene. They checked all the angles, played it in slow motion, and opted to stick with the referee's on-field decision. A few minutes later, Kovacic did the same thing on Declan Rice, and having already received a yellow card for a similar challenge, the Arsenal players protested for him to receive another yellow, which would have led to him being sent off. Amazingly, Oliver waved play on, totally ignoring the protests. The guys in the VAR room also opted for a bathroom break. Oliver bent the rules to favor Man City. Thankfully, Arsenal won the game, but still demanded explanation for why Kovacic wasn't sent off. When the replay came in, it read, he didn't send him off because he didn't want to ruin the game.
What the hell?
If this isn't annoying enough, wait until you see the questionable penalty awarded to Portugal at the 2022 World Cup. Portugal, needing a win to progress to the knockout stage, came up against South American powerhouse Uruguay. The tension could be felt around the stadium as Cristiano Ronaldo and his teammates faced the threat of possible elimination from the competition. Uruguay threatened first after Bentancur managed to weave past the Portuguese defense, but the goalkeeper stopped his effort. Then, as the second half resumed, Bruno Fernandes settled any nerve by scoring a goal that was initially claimed by Ronaldo.
That's pretty good acting.
With a few minutes left to play, Bruno attempted to run into the box, but Uruguay's Jimenez slid to try to stop the ball. Unfortunately, the ball touched his arm and he fell backward. After reviewing the incident, the VAR invited the match referee to have a look. The stadium was quiet in anticipation. Could this be the moment that would guarantee Portugal's progression? Finally, the verdict came in. Penalty against Uruguay. VAR deemed Jimenez's arm to be in an unnatural position. Where was his arm supposed to be when falling to the ground? As crazy as this blunder might have been, it is nothing compared to Juventus being denied a goal by the biggest mistake in football history. But before we get to that, let's look at one of the worst VAR errors in Premier League history. This moment came in a heated battle for a top 4 spot as Brighton welcomed Tottenham to the Amex Stadium. The Seagulls, under the guidance of Roberto De Zerbi, were gunning for an unexpected top 4 finish, while Spurs were desperately looking for the points that would keep them in the Champions League places. The pressure could be felt in the stadium as both players and staff kept having a go at each other. But things reached a boiling point when Emil Højbjerg tackled Brighton winger Mitoma in the penalty box. The Brighton fans and coaches all shouted for a penalty, and from the replay, it was the most obvious penalty ever. But the referee simply waved play on. Thankfully, VAR intervened, bringing a sigh of relief to the angry fans and staff of Brighton. While the check was being carried out, some fans had already started celebrating. Surely the referee's error would be overturned. But after checking the replays from all angles, the decision came in and the stadium went quiet. No penalty. Speaking of heartbreaks, Barcelona fans will never forget the night they were denied a clear goal by the VAR malfunction. On the 21st of April 2024, Barcelona went into the El Classico against Madrid, hoping that a victory would cut down their rivals' lead at the top of the La Liga table. As the match started, they showed their intentions when Andreas Christensen headed home a corner kick. However, Madrid responded through a Vinny Jr. penalty. But before Madrid could enjoy the equalizer, Lamine Yamal scored Barca's second goal. Or that's what he thought. Yamal flicked on a quick corner that appeared to catch the Madrid goalkeeper by surprise, who desperately pushed it out of his post. The referee, however, disallowed the goal and signaled VAR was checking it. This sparked a wild protest by the Barcelona players, who couldn't believe the goal wasn't given. But after checking all possible angles, VAR deemed it inconclusive and stuck with the referee's decision to disallow it. If you think this is terrible, the next decision will shock you completely. Under the guidance of the underrated Eddie Howe, Newcastle United visited the home Parc de France, hoping to secure an unexpected victory that would take them to the Champions League knockout stage. An early Alexander Isak goal gave Newcastle fans hope of a miraculous victory. But as the game progressed, Newcastle decided to protect their lead. Unfortunately, that dream came crashing down when a scandalous decision was given against them. A shot by Dembele struck the hand of Newcastle's Tino Livramento. The replay showed it wasn't a penalty, but the PSG players kept protesting, forcing the ref to have another view on the monitor. When he returned, he broke Newcastle's hearts by pointing to the penalty spot. Mbappe stepped up to convert it, knocking Newcastle out of the Champions League. After the game, Newcastle protested the harsh decision, encouraging UEFA to launch an investigation. After making their findings, they indefinitely suspended the VAR official that day.
I'm gonna lose my shit!
Even though this didn't change anything, it was a good sign to see the officials punished for making bad mistakes. But just when you thought VAR couldn't get worse, they struck again. This time in a match between Brighton and Crystal Palace.
Oh, God! No!
When the Seagulls faced off against the Eagles of Crystal Palace, they were confident of getting all 3 points because they had a far superior team. This assumption was justified when Estupinan scored a goal after some neat play by his teammates. But before they could celebrate, the referee pointed to his ear to confirm that the goal was being checked for a possible offside. The goal was checked, lines were drawn, and the VAR concluded the Brighton player was offside when he scored the goal. However, the replay showed that Estupinan was clearly onside. Even the most unskilled viewer could determine the goal should have stood. But if you think this decision was questionable, wait till you see the next blunder. In December 2023, Arsenal visited Anfield, hoping a win would solidify their grip at the top of the table. The Gunners struck first by scoring the first goal through a Gabriel header.
To his teammates, into the penalty area it goes. Gabriel's header, and it's into the back of the net.
However, a brilliant goal by Mohamed Salah leveled the score for Liverpool.
Into the box he goes, kicked inside Zinchenko. Salah finds the back of the net.
Then, the first controversy came when Martin Odegaard handled the ball inside the Arsenal 18-yard box, but the referee waved play on. The VAR checked and decided not a penalty.
No, his hand's on the floor!
So I'm back with live. So he's falling down. He's moving his arms in towards him. So it's check complete for me. Check complete. Yes. Confirming on-field decision, no penalty.
The fans in the stadium whistled at the decision. And honestly, who could blame them? The replay showed the ball struck the player's hand. But for whatever reason, VAR and the referee decided to rewrite the rule book. After the game, that moment became a hot topic in the media.
Hey, Howard, well, what's your take on that one? I thought it was a penalty.
What didn't reach the right outcome on that basis.
Promoting the Referees Association to release the video. But even Odegaard turning into LeBron James couldn't break into our top 10. Wait till you see the shameful decision a referee took at our number 2 pick. But before we get to that, let's see a football game that turned into rugby. On the opening day of the 2024 season, Manchester United were expected to easily beat a Wolves team still adjusting to the playing style of their new manager. But as the game progressed, Wolves showed they were no pushovers. They kept piling the pressure, while Manchester United waited for chances on the transition. Manchester United's goalkeeper, Andre Onana, made save after save, only for United to score against the run of play.
Fernandes. Lovely ball in. Wan-Bissaka, surely.
Then, with the last chance of the game, Onana completely missed a cross and crashed into a Wolves player.
Corner flag. He's got support if he needs it. He hooks his cross in. Oh, the goalkeeper. Surely he clattered into him. Surely he clattered into him. It comes out to the
VAR decided to take a look, and the replay showed what everyone else thought. Onana didn't touch the ball and completely took out his opponent. The referee then ran towards the touchline as if he wanted to check the foul himself. As he was running, you could hear the silence in the stadium as the home crowd was expecting a penalty to be given. But in a shocking twist of events, he ran down the touchline and gave a card to the Wolves coach.
What?
While the words "no penalty" echoed in the stadium. At number 9, the English FA employed a UFC referee as a VAR official. When Ipswich visited Anfield for a date with Liverpool, everyone expected them to be defeated by a far superior Liverpool team. This proved the case, as in the first half alone, the Reds had already scored 3 unanswered goals.
Oh, it's outstanding. Salah. Yes. To middle. Wadi Szoboszlai and turned home by.
When the second half came, Liverpool scored a 4th goal to effectively seal the victory. With the game gone, the Ipswich coach decided to bring in Julio Enciso for his debut. Just 5 minutes after coming on, he did this.
Just on the field, clattered into another.
He literally knocked out his opponent. But after VAR checked the foul several times, they deemed it wasn't worth a red card, and he was allowed to continue playing. But this wasn't the only time something like this happened in the Premier League. On the 12th of March, 2024, Jurgen Klopp faced Pep Guardiola one last time as Liverpool manager. The atmosphere was one of emotions as the two coaches, who had battled for a long time, were finally saying goodbye to each other. Man City scored with a smart corner kick. But after Ederson took out Nunez, Liverpool equalized from the penalty spot.
Penalty Liverpool. It's on one leg, and McAllister scores wonderfully well. The goalkeeper gets through.
Liverpool kept piling up the pressure, but couldn't convert their chances. Then, with the game heading for a draw, something controversial happened that should have altered the course of the match.
Luis Diaz jumps and Manchester City deal with it. Doku trying to clear. Salah. Liverpool wants a penalty.
A corner was played in and Doku made a flying tackle on McAllister. Now, not only was this a dangerous play, he took out his opponent and should have been an instant penalty. But the referee, Michael Oliver, yet again, allowed the play to continue. After the ball went out, VAR analyzed the foul, checked all angles, and decided the referee was right. No penalty. But what makes this even funnier is that the official Premier League website now uses this same tackle as an example of a high foot challenge, when it was not even given as a foul in the game. Mental. Next, we have one of the most bizarre decisions you'll ever see on a football pitch.
Now this one might surprise you. You see,
on the 26th of September 2020, Brighton and Manchester United played out an entertaining 2-2 draw.
Chip. Here's Fernandes, he takes it, wicked ball in. Yes. And Ricochet, can he finish now, surely? Brilliant. What a goal, fantastic. He'll hand back to a dangerous ball in, and there is the equal line.
After the final whistle was blown, the Manchester United players kept protesting about an incident.
Handball from Mope.
So instead of going to the dressing room, the players had to wait for a VAR check after the game had ended.
What the hell?
So when the checks were completed, Man U was given a penalty kick, which Fernandes scored to give them the win.
Fernandes steps up and scores!
Damn! Never in my life did I think that was allowed. Until I saw an even worse scenario in the Bundesliga. In a crucial relegation six-pointer between Mainz and Freiburg, the tension in the stadium was visible, with both teams fighting for survival. After canceling each other for the first 45 minutes, the referee blew the whistle for the teams to have their halftime break. As the players walked down the tunnel, the referee's attention was called to a potential penalty check. So the players were summoned to return to the pitch so the incident could be reviewed.
Lovely run from Brzezinski on the right-hand side, just ahead of half-time. There's the handball from Kemp. Was it or was it not the correct decision? The referee said no initially. Video review said yes.
From the replay, it's clear that the Freiburg player handled the ball, and it was a clear penalty. But do you want to guess how many minutes it took for VAR to make this obvious decision? Not 1, not 2, not 3, but a crazy 6 minutes to determine that it was a penalty. And now that we're down to our top 5, things are about to get even worse. Starting with another controversy by Michael Oliver. The build-up to the match between Wolves and Arsenal was tense for 2 reasons. Wolves needed to win to avoid dropping into the relegation zone, while Arsenal needed to win to keep any hopes of winning the Premier League alive. As expected, Arsenal piled on the pressure, while Wolves relied on counterattacks to try and hurt their opponents. Just before halftime, a well-defended corner presented an opportunity to counter by Wolves. Seeing that his teammates were short-handed at the Black, Arsenal's Lewis Skelly decided to take one for the team by bringing down the Wolves player. In every other instance, that would have been a yellow card, considering how far away they were from the goal. But for whatever reason, Michael Oliver gave him a straight red card. VAR, which was supposed to correct the referee's error, seemed scared of Oliver and just stuck with his original decision. But if you think this is unacceptable, wait till you see the VAR in Australia.
Oh, it's more than that. It's a straight red.
In a match between Adelaide and Sydney FC in the Australian League, Adelaide striker Ibusuki was shown a straight red card for this challenge.
There's a massive tear in those boots. This is going to be a booking for Ibusuki. Oh, it's more than that. It's a straight red. For the red.
At first glance, it looked like it was a bad challenge and deserved a red card. But after the replay was shown, it was clear Ibusuki's top leg didn't touch the player and shouldn't have been sent off. However, VAR reviewed the incident, saw all the angles, and still decided to stick with the referee's initial decision. But if you think these referees weren't seeing clearly, the next ones were completely blind.
And he's been sent to the monitor, so that means that Darren England thinks red card.
This Liverpool match couldn't have started any worse for the Reds. Curtis Jones went in for a tackle and mistakenly took out his opponent. Initially, the referee gave a yellow card because it wasn't malicious. But as Bissouma lay on the ground, VAR spoke to the referee and urged him to upgrade it to a red.
It's going to change, and it's a red card for Curtis Jones.
The shock on Jones's face was what every football fan felt. But unknown to Liverpool, the VAR officials were just getting started. After Jones received the red card, Mohamed Salah played a clean pass to Diaz, who expertly scored his goal. But before he and his teammates could celebrate, the depressing image of the lineman's flag hit them in the face. The replay showed Diaz was onside, but after VAR checks, the goal was disallowed. Liverpool ended up losing the game, and the unbelievable decisions sparked a controversy. To save face, the Referees Association released this video.
Yep, 2D line on the boot.
2D line on the boot.
Yep, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Off. Thank you, mate.
Wait. On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
Are you happy with this?
Offside
On-field
goal. Yeah.
On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this image? Yeah, it's onside. The image we gave you is onside.
Left back. He's played. He's gone offside.
Delay. Ollie's saying to delay. Ollie's saying to delay. Delay the game. Stop the game.
They've restarted the game.
From on the field.
The decision is offside.
Having watched that, you question how they arrived at the goal being offside.
They didn't do that on purpose. And we should not forget that. Yes, it was a mistake, an obvious mistake. Not as a manager of Liverpool so much, more as a football person. I think the outcome should be a replay.
But now, it's time for the worst VAR blunder in football history. It happened in the Serie A when Juventus faced Salernitana. The match was end-to-end, with both teams scoring 2 goals each.
Great ball in!
Then, in the dying seconds of the game, Milik scored the winner.
It's now on there, the Quadrado's corner, and it's in from Milik!
Or so he thought. First, Milik was already on a yellow card, and by taking off his shirt to celebrate, he received a second yellow and an immediate red card. Amidst the chaos, VAR started checking the goal for a possible offside. The thing is, Milik was onside, but it wasn't him they were checking. It was Bonucci. Despite not touching the ball, VAR deemed he was interfering with play, and since the lines showed he was offside, they brutally disallowed the goal.
What the hell?
But it gets worse. After the game, an image of the incident appeared on Twitter, showing that VAR missed a player standing by the corner flag. Had they drawn it from him, Bonucci would have been miles onside. It's already bad that they canceled the goal for a silly reason, but missing a player entirely is just unforgivable. But while VAR has helped reduce referee errors, we still see some crazy errors by these officials. I'm talking about a ref turning into a defender, and another one who made a player fake an injury. Click on the next video to see the times referees ruined football.